What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the third studio album by the 2/3 Denmark, 1/3 American rockers New Politics. It's called Vikings. They blew up the alternative airwaves in 2013 and actually saw some crossover success with their amazing song Harlem that got stuck in your head for days and was one of my favorite songs of the year. Gotta say, to this day I still love the band's debut record, full of 10 adrenaline-pumping jams that are just a blast to listen to, and that carried over into 2013's A Bad Girl in Harlem as well. Not to say that New Politics are trying to get all serious on us with this new record Vikings, it's just that the lyrical content and the fun that's had doesn't feel as natural this time around. That being said, the album has grown on me significantly since the first time I hit play. Look at the song Girl Crush, for example. The first time I listened to that one, definitely rubbed me the wrong way. Was not into the track, but now I'd listed among my favorite songs on the record. It's catchy as hell. Good God, is this one catchy. It's one of those tracks that you're going to be singing along in T-3 listens. One major flaw that this record has is its arrogance. It's cocky enough to think that it's great, when in reality, it's often just a watered-down version of their past selves. Now, I'm going to give it to them. It does work out for them a good chunk of the time, but we get way more good than great on Vikings, and that's unfortunate. The flimsy West End Kids comes right near the start of this record, held together by a generic looped electro-pop beat that feels like it was lifted straight out of Katy Perry's B-Sides collection. The lyrics don't do much to change my mind about this one either, speaking of how unpredictable the things that they're doing are or else can be, when in reality it's just like every other young and free song out there. It falls into generic territory. Minus the spunky 15 Dreams, the album does get off to a rather weak start. I already talked about the first two, but now we've got 50 Feet Tall up on the chopping block. It really just wants to be one of those rollicking 80s inspired night out on the town style tracks, but it doesn't bring nearly enough interesting material for that to work. One track that I found to be quite odd but still likable was Lovers in a Song. There's no way they didn't intend for this one to sound like something out of like a 70s or 80s action flick or else one of those spy movies. You know what I'm talking about, like something that would have appeared in like the opening credits. The reverb-laden guitars and the simple but very prominent bass work further this idea, managing to be a pretty enjoyable track if you can actually see through the haze here. It honestly sounds like they were listening to a lot of Cage the Elephant whenever they recorded this, and I'm not coming down on them for that because I really dig the vibe. I'm just saying, they were clearly inspired whenever they hit the studio. Stardust is also a good tune, although I don't care that much for the little cheesy piano-led intro. However, once we get to the chorus, that's whenever it really just sticks itself to your eardrum like glue. It mixes in the symphonic element and a genuinely entertaining and spirited vocal performance from David Boyd that I just have to applaud. They do bounce around influences and styles a bit, but a lot of Vikings is grounded in rock and roll, which I just was not expecting that much. Even though I'm happy to see that they kind of stuck to their guns more than I would have expected them to on this record, there's just some tracks that I just don't care that much about. They're lacking something, including that lead single that dropped about a year ago, Everywhere I Go. It just feels like one of those tracks that you would hear on the radio and then never think twice about. I have to point out the track Aristocrats before I wrap up the review because it's one of those ones that totally won me over. I didn't like this track at first because I thought it was just one of those typical songs about like, you know what, you're this rich bitch, you're not gonna win me over, you're not gonna bring me to the dark side, but the more I listen to it, it's got an awesome 80s inspired instrumental on it and a lot of good lyrics, even though the chorus is a bit cheesy, a bit see-through if you will. It's one of those tracks, if you give it time, along with several of the other ones, it'll probably grow on you. I know I've pointed out some criticisms, but all in all, this is actually not that bad of a record. I'm not trying to knock the wind out of their sail. There's still a punk rock attitude surrounding it, with some of the songs like The Thundering Strings Attached along with Loyalty among Thieves clearly being influenced by the genre. I'd say the replay factor is pretty much moderately high since it's a breeze to listen to. You can easily listen to this thing in one sitting, and it might surprise you over time how much you start to like some of these songs. It's a record about two guys from Denmark and one American kind of out to conquer the big city. It's hard not to find at least a couple of tracks that you'll enjoy. I'm gonna go ahead and give Vikings a strong 3. Actually, let's bump that up to a light 3.5. Yeah, I think that feels right. If you've heard the latest album Vikings by the alternative rock band New Politics, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. If there's other albums that I have not covered yet that you'd like to see me review, let me know about them down there as well. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. Other than that, I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.